What lies beyond the boundary? Commander Nikolai Petrov stepped off the transport shuttle, his boots sinking slightly into the violet-hued soil of Outpost Vega. The air carried a metallic tang that his filtration mask couldn't quite neutralize, and the gravity pulled at him with unfamiliar insistence. After 18 months in deep space, planetary conditions always felt strange, but Vega was peculiar even by colonial standards. Commander Petrov didn't expect headquarters to send someone so quickly. A stocky woman with weather-beaten features approached, extending a gloved hand. "Director Valentina Kostova, welcome to our little corner of nowhere." Nikolai clasped her hand firmly. "Your distress signal mentioned production issues and unexplained phenomena. The mining consortium takes both very seriously." Valentina's expression darkened. "Follow me, best we talk inside." She led him toward a cluster of prefabricated structures, domes connected by sealed corridors that protected the colonists from Vega's unpredictable atmosphere. Workers paused in their tasks to stare at Nikolai, some with hope, others with unmistakable wariness. Inside the main administrative hub, Valentina gestured toward a seat at a conference table where several colony officials waited. Their faces shared the same hardened look of people who'd seen things they couldn't explain. "Let's get straight to it," Valentina began, activating a holographic display. "We've lost 3 mining drones in the eastern quadrant. Equipment malfunctions have increased 400% in the past month. 2 crew members reported hallucinations. And then there's the incident." The display showed footage of a maintenance worker stumbling back into the colony, eyes vacant, mumbling incomprehensible phrases before collapsing. Medical readouts scrolled alongside the video. "Javier hasn't been the same since," said a gray-haired man with a medical insignia. "Brain scans show unusual activity patterns. He keeps drawing the same symbol over and over." The doctor pushed forward a tablet showing a complex geometric pattern that seemed to shift subtly as Nikolai looked at it. "We think it has something to do with her," Valentina said, her voice dropping. "Her?" Nikolai questioned. A muscular colonist with intricate facial tattoos leaned forward. "The alien woman beyond the ridge, the one who lives in the impossible house." "Demon Moraz, head of security," Valentina explained. "Tell him Demon." Moraz's expression was grim. "About 3 months ago, we noticed a structure appear in the valley beyond the eastern perimeter. Wasn't there during our initial surveys. No construction activity detected. It just appeared one morning." "What kind of structure?" Nikolai asked. "That's the problem," Valentina interjected. "It doesn't stay the same. Sometimes it's a dome, sometimes a spire. The scan team says its dimensions don't add up, bigger inside than out." "And the woman?" Nikolai prompted. The room fell silent. Finally, Moraz continued, "Humanoid, but definitely not human, appeared shortly after the structure. We've designated the entity as Anomaly X. Those who have encountered her report effects." "Effects?" "Distorted perception, missing time, changed behavior." Moraz tapped the table nervously. "Javier isn't the only one who went looking and came back wrong. Others returned with strange ideas, talking about fractures and convergence points. One resigned and tried to leave the planet immediately." Nikolai processed this information, years of crisis management training kicking in. "Has anyone attempted diplomatic contact?" The colonists exchanged uncomfortable glances. "Commander," Valentina said carefully, "we're miners, not first contact specialists. We've established a no-go zone around the anomaly and forbidden all interaction." "Which some idiots ignore," Moraz added bitterly. "The curious ones always think they'll be different." Nikolai nodded. "I'll need to see everything you've documented, and tomorrow I want to observe this anomaly myself." "That's not advisable," Valentina protested. "From a safe distance," Nikolai assured her. "I can't assess the situation without seeing it firsthand." After hours reviewing sensor logs and witness testimonies, Nikolai retired to his assigned quarters. Sleep eluded him as his mind processed the contradictory reports. Some described the alien as menacing, others as benevolent. The structure defied physics. The planet's own geological readings showed inexplicable energy patterns. Dawn on Vega brought twin suns cresting the horizon, bathing the landscape in amber light. Nikolai stood at the eastern perimeter, environmental suit sealed and diagnostic equipment ready. "This is as far as I go," Moroz declared, handing Nikolai a signal beacon. "Activate this if you need extraction, and Commander," his eyes were deadly serious, "don't accept any invitations." Nikolai nodded and began his trek across the valley. The terrain undulated strangely, almost responding to his footsteps. Native vegetation, crystalline structures that might have been plants, chimed softly as he passed. After 30 minutes of hiking, he crested a ridge and saw it. The structure below defied description. Its walls seemed to phase between solid material and translucent energy, colors shifting like oil on water. It had no clear architectural style, resembling neither human nor any known alien design. As he watched, a spire extended upward, then merged back into the main body of the building. His instruments went haywire, readings fluctuating wildly. The air felt charged, tingling against his exposed skin. Movement caught his eye. A figure emerged from the structure, tall and graceful, with skin that reflected light in prismatic patterns. Her features were almost human, yet subtly altered. Eyes too large, fingers too long, proportions just different enough to trigger uncanny recognition. She looked directly at him, despite the distance between them, and raised a hand in clear invitation. Every warning from the colonists echoed in Nikolai's mind. Every protocol demanded he retreat and report. But something deeper, more primitive than training, drew him forward, a curiosity that transcended caution. As he approached, the alien woman waited, unmoving. Up close, her skin wasn't skin at all, but a fine matrix of iridescent scales that shifted with her breathing. Her eyes held no pupils, just swirling vortices of amber light. "You are different," she said, her voice bypassing his ears to resonate directly in his mind. "The others came with fear or greed. You bring questions." Nikolai maintained his composure. "I'm Commander Nikolai Petrov, representing the human settlement. We're concerned about—" "Names," she interrupted. "Such limited things." She tilted her head at an impossible angle. "I am called many things. For simplicity, you may call me Zelana." "Zelana," Nikolai repeated. "The colonists are experiencing disturbances they believe are connected to you." "Perception and reality intersect imperfectly here," she replied. "Would you understand better if you saw?" She gestured toward the entrance of the structure, which rippled like a vertical pool of mercury. Every instinct screamed danger. Every protocol demanded retreat. Moroz's warning rang in his ears. "Don't accept any invitations." Yet Nikolai had not come this far to turn back without answers. "Show me," he said. The interior defied comprehension. Spaces opened into other spaces that couldn't possibly connect. Gravity shifted subtly between chambers. Light emanated from nowhere and everywhere. "Your kind has built upon ignorance," Zelana said, leading him to what appeared to be a central chamber. "They break the ground, extract resources, never understanding what lies beneath." The chamber floor became transparent, revealing a network of luminous veins running through the planet's crust, pulsing, living energy pathways stretching in all directions. "What am I seeing?" Nikolai asked, transfixed. "The nervous system of a world," Zelana replied. "Your colony has severed critical junctions with their mining. The planet responds, attempting to heal. These responses manifest as what you call anomalies." She waved a hand, and the view shifted to show the mining operation from below. Each drill site appeared as a wound, leaking energy into the surrounding tissue of the planet. "This is a living system. Not as you understand life, but yes, and it is dying." Zelana's eyes flared brighter. "With each extraction, the balance destabilizes. Soon, catastrophic failure will occur." "You mean the planet will what? Reject us?" Nikolai tried to comprehend. "The fractures will widen. Reality will become permeable. Your people have already witnessed the early symptoms." Nikolai thought of the malfunctioning equipment, the hallucinations, Javier's condition. The colony is in danger. As is all life on Vega. Zelana's expression was unreadable. I was sent to observe, to document another civilization's self-destruction, but I find I prefer intervention. Why me? Why not speak to Valentina or the colony leadership? They would not listen. Their minds are fixed on extraction quotas and profit margins. Zelana moved closer. You, however, still retain the capacity to perceive beyond your programming. Nikolai bristled at the implication. I have a duty to protect the colony. Even if that protection requires fundamental change, she gestured, and the chamber filled with a projection of possible futures. The colony destroyed by geological upheaval in one, abandoned and deteriorating in another, and in a third, transformed into something integrated with the planet's systems. There is a way to repair what has been damaged, Zelana continued, to establish harmony rather than parasitism, but your people must choose it willingly. And if they don't, then I document another extinction. Her tone was matter-of-fact, devoid of malice. Nikolai stared at the projections, mind racing through implications and possibilities. I need to understand exactly what's happening and what can be done. No half-truths or mystical explanations. If I'm to convince anyone, I need evidence they'll accept. For the first time, Zelana's expression softened into something almost like respect. Very well, Commander. Let us begin your education. As the alien woman raised her hands, the chamber around them transformed into a living model of the planet's systems, and Nikolai knew his understanding of reality would never be the same. Outside in the colony, his signal beacon blinked steadily, unactivated. And as the day cycled into night, Director Kostova stared at the monitoring screen, watching the beacon's stationary position with growing concern. Another one lost, Moraz muttered beside her. No, Valentina replied, her jaw set with determination. Not yet. Prepare a retrieval team. We're bringing the commander back whether he wants to return or not. Between two worlds. Dawn broke over Outpost Vega in violent hues of crimson and gold, as if the twin suns themselves were issuing a warning. Director Valentina Kostova checked her weapon for the third time, the familiar weight of the pulse rifle offering little comfort against what lay ahead. Retrieval team assembled, Demon Moraz reported, leading 4 grim-faced security officers into the command center. Standard containment protocols in place. This isn't a standard situation, Valentina reminded him. Commander Petrov is a consortium representative. If he's been compromised, we need him alive and coherent. With respect, Director, Moraz countered, we've lost 6 colonists to that thing already. 4 never returned, 2 came back wrong. I won't risk more lives with half measures. Dr. Amir Hassan, the colony's chief medical officer, stepped forward. I've prepared a sedative that should neutralize any hallucinogenic effects the commander might be experiencing, but we need to reach him first. The tension in the room was palpable as Valentina studied the topographic display showing Petrov's beacon, still motionless near the anomaly's last recorded position. We move in 15 minutes, she decided. Surgical extraction, minimal engagement with the entity. Priority is recovery of consortium personnel. As the team dispersed to make final preparations, Valentina remained, staring at the blinking dot on the screen. What did you find out there, Commander? She whispered. What made you stay? Within the impossible structure, Nikolai Petrov experienced time differently. What felt like hours of intense education had stretched into the night and following morning. His environmental suit lay discarded as the atmosphere inside Zelana's domain sustained him perfectly. The planet's neural network processes energy in a cyclical pattern, Zelana explained, her hands manipulating a 3-dimensional model of intertwining energy pathways. Your colony's extraction methods create severed connections, dead zones that spread exponentially. Nikolai studied the model, his scientific training struggling against concepts that defied conventional physics. And these fractures are what's causing the anomalies in our equipment, the psychological effects on our people. Reality becomes thin where the network is damaged, Zelana confirmed. Other dimensions bleed through. Your machines detect these inconsistencies as malfunctions. Your minds interpret them as hallucinations. But you're not a hallucination, Nikolai observed. Zelana's luminous eyes flickered with something like amusement. I am a translator sent to study and interpret. By whom? Those who watch civilizations rise and fall, those who catalog extinction events. Nikolai frowned. You keep mentioning extinction. How imminent is this threat? Zelana waved her hand, and the model expanded to show a timeline of deterioration. At current extraction rates, critical systems failure within 60 days, complete planetary destabilization within 120. And the colony will not survive the first phase. Nikolai ran a hand through his hair, the enormity of the situation weighing on him. There must be a way to extract resources without causing this damage. There is, Zelana acknowledged, but it requires technology your people don't possess and an approach fundamentally different from your current methods. Show me. Zelana's form seemed to shimmer as she moved closer. I can do better than show you. I can connect you directly to the network, let you feel what I feel. Is that what happened to Javier and the others? Nikolai asked cautiously. They were unprepared. Their minds rejected the connection, fragmented under the strain. Her voice softened. You are different. Your pattern is adaptable. Nikolai hesitated. If I agree to this connection, what guarantees do I have that I'll remain myself? None, Zelana said simply. But without understanding, you cannot help your people. Without your help, they will not survive. The commander stood at a crossroads, weighing duty against risk, protocol against necessity. Finally, he nodded. Do it. Zelana placed her hands on either side of his face, her touch cool and electric. Open your mind to what exists beyond your perception. World dissolved. Nikolai gasped as his consciousness expanded outward, flowing into the living network of the planet. He wasn't observing it. He was it. Every pulse of energy, every flow of the planet's lifeblood became an extension of his own nervous system. He felt the colony as a source of pain, drills cutting into sensitive nodes. He experienced the planet's struggle to reroute vital energies around damaged areas. And he understood. When Zelana withdrew her hands, Nikolai collapsed to his knees, overwhelmed by the experience. Tears streamed down his face, not from sadness, but from the sheer magnitude of what he had felt. Now you comprehend, Zelana said softly. We're killing it, Nikolai whispered. With every extraction, we're killing it, and ourselves in the process. Yes. Nikolai stood shakily. I need to show them, make them understand. They will resist, Zelana warned. Your kind clings to familiar patterns, even destructive ones. Then we'll have to be persuasive. Nikolai's eyes had a new determination. Can you create a portable version of that model, something I can take back to the colony? Before Zelana could answer, the structure around them pulsed with warning energy. Others approach, she said, her expression darkening. Armed, hostile. Valentina led the extraction team across the valley floor, each step cautious on the increasingly unstable terrain. The ground beneath them seemed to shift and breathe, as if the planet itself resented their presence. 500 meters to target, Moraz reported, checking his tracking display. The structure ahead defied description even more than usual, its form cycling rapidly between architectures, as if unable to decide on a single shape. Spires rose and fell, walls became transparent, then solid again. Life signs, Valentina asked. Dr. Hassan consulted his scanner. One human signature, but it's fluctuating strangely, and something else, a pattern I can't identify. The entity, Moraz growled. Weapons ready, non-lethal protocols unless I give the order. As they approached the perimeter of the anomaly, the air grew thick with static electricity. Communication devices crackled with interference. Director, one of the security team called, pointing ahead. Movement at the entrance. Two figures emerged from the shifting structure, Commander Petrov walking alongside the alien entity. Nikolai appeared physically unharmed, but there was something different in his posture, his eyes. "Commander Petrov," Valentina called, raising her voice to carry across the distance. "By authority of the mining consortium, I'm ordering you to return to the colony immediately." Nikolai raised his hands in a peaceful gesture. "Director Kostova, I understand your concern, but there's no danger here. In fact, I've learned something critical about our operation." "Step away from the alien, Commander," Moraz demanded, his weapon raised. "You've been compromised." "I haven't been compromised, Demon. I've been enlightened." Nikolai took another step forward. "The planet is a living system. Our mining operations are damaging it critically, and the consequences will destroy the colony unless we change our approach." "Classic manipulation pattern," Dr. Hassan murmured to Valentina. "The entity has imprinted its own beliefs on him." Zelana remained silent beside Nikolai, her alien features unreadable. "Commander," Valentina tried again, "we're here to help you. Whatever you think you've discovered can be discussed back at the colony after medical evaluation." "There's no time for that," Nikolai insisted. "The fracture patterns are accelerating. We have weeks, not months, before critical failure." Moraz stepped forward, his patience visibly thinning. "Last chance, Commander. Come willingly or we take you in. The alien stays here." Nikolai's expression hardened. "Zelana isn't the threat. Our ignorance is." "Nikolai," Zelana spoke for the first time, her voice carrying strangely across the distance. "They cannot comprehend what they haven't experienced." "Then we'll have to show them," Nikolai replied. Before anyone could react, Zelana raised her arms. The ground beneath the retrieval team liquefied, not into soil or water, but into a luminous energy that enveloped them to their knees. Weapons discharged reflexively, but the energy absorbed the pulses harmlessly. "What is this?" Valentina demanded, struggling against the grip of the planet itself. "Connection," Zelana answered simply. The energy climbed higher, surrounding each team member in a cocoon of pulsing light. Their struggles ceased as expressions of shock, then wonder crossed their faces one by one. For several minutes, no one moved or spoke. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the energy receded, leaving the team standing unharmed but profoundly altered. Dr. Hassan was the first to recover his voice. "That was, I felt everything, the planet, the damage, the pain." "Impossible," Moraz whispered, his weapon now hanging limply at his side. Valentina stared at Nikolai, her worldview visibly shifting. "The mining operations, they're creating fractures in more than just rock." "In reality itself," Nikolai confirmed. "But there's a solution, a way to extract what we need without causing further damage. Zelana can show us how." "The consortium won't abandon this colony," Valentina said, her practical nature reasserting itself. "The mineral deposits are too valuable." "They don't have to abandon it," Nikolai replied. "They just have to evolve it." 3 months later, Outpost Vega bore little resemblance to the struggling mining colony it had once been. New structures, designed with Zelana's guidance, worked in harmony with the planet's energy network rather than against it. Extraction technologies pulled minerals from the crust without severing crucial connections, yielding higher quality ore with minimal disruption. In the central research dome, Nikolai reviewed the latest scan results with Valentina and Dr. Hassan. "Fracture healing has accelerated by 30% this month," Hassan reported, gesturing to the holographic display. "The regional network is stabilizing faster than projected." Valentina nodded, satisfaction evident in her expression. "The consortium's skepticism is fading with each shipment. It turns out sustainable methods are also more profitable. Who would have guessed?" "Everyone wins," Nikolai agreed. "The colony thrives, the consortium gets its minerals, and the planet heals." "All because you ignored a direct order not to speak with the scary alien," Valentina remarked with a wry smile. "Sometimes the warnings are there to protect the status quo, not us," Nikolai replied. A soft chime interrupted their conversation, the perimeter alert signaling a visitor. On the surveillance display, Zelana's distinctive form approached the colony entrance. Though she now worked regularly with the human researchers, Zelana maintained her own dwelling beyond the settlement boundaries. Her position had evolved from observer to advisor, bridge between two worlds that once seemed incompatible. "She's early for the convergence test," Hassan noted. "I'll meet her," Nikolai offered, already moving toward the airlock. Outside, under the alien sky, Zelana waited. Her appearance had not changed, but to Nikolai's eyes, now accustomed to her strangeness, she had become a familiar presence, perhaps even a friend. "The Watchers are impressed," she said without preamble. "Your adaptation has been documented as an anomaly of its own." "High praise from cosmic record keepers," Nikolai replied with a smile. "Your species shows promise, despite its destructive tendencies." Zelana tilted her head in that impossible angle. "Few civilizations reverse their course once extinction becomes visible on the horizon." "We're stubborn that way," Nikolai said, "equally capable of tremendous damage and remarkable repair." They walked together toward the research dome, an alien and a human, united by understanding that transcended their differences. "Will you stay?" Nikolai asked suddenly, "after the planet is fully stabilized?" Zelana was silent for a moment, her luminous eyes contemplating horizons beyond human perception. "My purpose has changed," she finally admitted. "I came to document an ending. Now I find myself participating in a beginning." Around them, the soil of Vega pulsed with renewed vitality. In the distance, the twin suns cast long shadows across a landscape no longer wounded but healing. And between two different species, a connection formed that mirrored the network beneath their feet, complex, unexpected, and full of possibility. "Sometimes," Nikolai reflected, "the most important discoveries happen when we ignore the warnings and step inside." Zelana's expression shifted into what might have been a smile. "Indeed, the universe reveals itself only to those willing to see beyond their boundaries." Together, they entered the colony, no longer an intrusion on the planet, but an integral part of its evolving story.